Hello and welcome to Suspended Fanimation. I am your host, Dennis Patholkas, and tonight we're going over Futureman, Season 1, Episode 6, A Blowjob Before Dying. Again, I love the titles of these things, and this one does not disappoint. So again, we basically start off exactly where we left off after episode 5 with Jerry with a shoe in the back of her neck because that's stopping the bomb from blowing up her head that she activated because she is a biotic, and she is in the back of the catering truck as they're speeding across town, and Tiger and Wolf are going to interrogate her. Yeah. So before we get started here, let's say if you haven't seen this show already, it's on Hulu. It's great. It's been out now for about a year, and season 2 is going to start up again on January 11th. Start up a free Hulu subscription. It's 30-day trial. Take a look at it. You can see season 1. It's all up there already, and season 2 is going to drop, like I said, on January 11th. So that's why I'm going episode by episode until season 2 starts. So spoiler alert, I am going to spoil the shit out of this thing. If you haven't seen it, go and see the show. You can see it for free. Plus, they have other shows that are up there, Runaways, plenty of other original shows too. The First, which is about the first people on Mars, with Sean Penn, which is actually fairly good. They have a whole bunch of different programming, as well as stuff from NBC, ABC, and Fox as well. So go and get it to take a look. So like I said, I'm going to be spoiling the crap out of it, and here we go. So, exactly, Viking Bitch. If you haven't seen this show, what the hell is wrong with you? Thank you to everybody who's in my chat. I believe there's only about 3 people at the moment. Sculpted Leather Art by Viking Bitch, Movie Fanobi, and I saw Filthy Farmer in here someplace, or the Filthy News was someplace around here. And I believe Slurmy's around here too, as well. So they're in the catering van, speeding across town, trying to get them back to the lair so they can interrogate her before her bomb blows up. So they have 28 minutes. And Tiger has a really fond use of the word snatch. As she says, we're gonna find out where Robo Snatch has her TTD hidden, and they're taking her out of the van. She's unconscious. And who interrupts them before they can get her down to the sewer but Josh's dad, Mr. Futterman. He's across the street, and he comes out and he goes, "You're back already?" And he goes, and who's that? You brought a friend? I don't know. Why is she unconscious? And so, oh, she had a little too much fun at the party. So he's having his own party, Mr. Futterman. He's invited the neighbors over. Uncle Barry's there as well, and a blind date for Uncle Barry. And so he tells them to come on in and to bring their friend with them. And they're like, shit, well, we can't go down, into the sewer now that he spotted us. So they bring her up to Josh's room, and Josh's mom kind of comes up with some tea, and she interrupts. They want to interrogate her in Josh's room. And Josh is like, well, how are we going to stop her from screaming? And Tiger's like, I don't know, because once we start the fingernail, ripping out her fingernail, she's going to start screaming, and I don't know how to stop that. So yeah, there's a lot of shit going on now at this point. Yes, you guys are a mighty chat, even though you're small. That's all I can say. Thank you, Viking Bitch. Yeah, movie for nobody. I felt bad for Josh's mom too. So I love how they end up splitting up. So they're having a Christmas party downstairs. Tiger sends down Wolf. She says, I want you to post up at this feast celebrating this Santa Claus. She doesn't know who he is, and basically to run interference at this point. Josh's mom is a huge cock block. That's all I'm going to say. She's a very huge cock block. I love Glenn Headley because she plays it so well as the clueless mom, coming up with tea, with a little cozy and, on a tray and everything. It's like, no, Mom, go away, And So Josh, I love how Josh actually is setting time on his Blapple that he's got, and Lamar set the time for 20 minutes, and Lamar's like, done. Stay cool, man. Which I really want to have that instead of like Siri or Google Assistant, because that just sounds so much cooler. Having Lamar doing that, much better. Yes, Filthy News, you need to check this show out. If you like sci-fi, if you like comedy, it's half-hour episodes, so it's really good. It's about time travel. Seth Rogen and Evan Goldman, his producing partner, they're the ones that are producing this show, and they're actually in season 2. I just saw the trailer for it. Last episode is what it was. They ran the trailer in between, and Seth Rogen's in one of the episodes. He's a person called Susan who's from the future. So yeah, it's some pretty damn. I'm not a big Seth Rogen fan either. I don't like Seth Rogen, his humor, because it's usually just drugs and stuff like that and kind of unfunny. But dude, I don't know what it is about this show, Preacher, and I know Happy as well. No, at least Happy doesn't have anything to do with. Or I take that back. Does he? I think he does actually have something to do with Happy and The Boys that's coming up on Amazon. So he and his partner Evan Goldman have been doing some really good shows lately. So it's definitely something you should check out. So Jerry ends up, saying that the Resistance is actually a terrorist organization, kind of similar to ISIS. And she is trying to talk Josh down out of this thing, out of interrogating her. And in the meantime, Wolf is down helping out in the Futterman kitchen because Mr. Futterman has burned the popovers. And as Wolf says, you've brought shame to the Futterman kitchen. And so he tells him to leave, and he's going to take care of it. He'll find something to do. And Jerry starts giving her backstory about how she was born in New Jersey and has a brother who's gay, and everyone's fine with it and all this stuff. And and then she just basically tries to turn Tiger against Josh at this point by saying everything that Josh said bad about Tiger at the party to Tiger. And basically they're playing off of each other at this point. And she's doing a pretty good job of it, of separating them out. And Tiger gets pretty pissed off at this point. She says, okay, I'm done here. You're getting a scorpion up your snatch. And she leaves to go and get a scorpion because he's like, wait, whoa. We actually went that far? He goes, isn't there any kind of, midway point? And she goes, no. Scorpion to the snatch. That's what we're doing right now. And she leaves. So Wolf makes this really neat dessert of these little puff pastries that he makes into a tower with sugar and lemon zest and all this kind of stuff over the top of it. It impresses everybody, of course, because he's Wolf. That's what he does. And of course he steals away Wanda, which is the newly divorced blind date that the Futtermans have set up for Uncle Barry. And she goes, you sit next to me. And Barry, of course, starts drinking heavily because he likes his bourbon, which he admits to at that point in time. And Wolf loves port. He's been drinking port. He says it tastes like honey. And he asks if they have any meth because, meth is, really good as well, which he was snorting in the last episode. I said cocaine in the last episode. It's actually meth that he was snorting there. So, yeah, Wanda was not subtle at all, man. Yeah, not subtle at all. So Jerry and Josh are talking, and he's trying to figure out if she liked him or not. And he's not getting the point that, we have a limited amount of time. You got to find out where her time travel device is. But instead, he's wasting time by trying to find out if she liked him or not all this time instead of just playing him. And she's from the future, of course. So she's like, hey, man, it was just a job, pretty much. This is what I'm here for. I'm trying to, make sure my future exists. So Wolf gets up and announces very loudly he's going to go to the bathroom, that he needs to pee, and goes in to the bathroom. And as he comes out, Wanda's waiting outside for him. and brings him inside and back into the bathroom. And she's going to kiss him. He's like, no, not in the rat hole. I mean, the mouth. And she goes, oh, you're in luck, mister. You're really cute. And she unzips his fly, goes down there, and proceeds to give him a blowjob, which he really, really likes. Yeah, the title, A Blowjob Before Dying, is definitely literal Viking bitch. Yes, it is. Not on the rat hole. Exactly. Not on the rat hole. I mean the mouth. And Uncle Barry is outside listening to this happening. He goes, that could have been me. And he's drinking straight from the bottle now at this point, which is not good. Tiger, in the meantime, brings in the neighbor's baby. The neighbor's baby has been sleeping upstairs in a room, or is in a little bassinet in a room upstairs. And she brings in to Jerry and says, this is baby Cronish. And I'm going to kill baby Cronish unless you tell us where your TTD device is. And Jerry doesn't believe her. She's like, yeah, no way, that's baby Cronish. You do not just go back in time, then come back here to the future to kill baby Cronish in front of me. You don't, and you're asking me about time travel devices. You don't have your time travel device. And she is going to kill the baby. And Josh steps in and goes, no, wait. That's not baby Cronish. That's the neighbor's baby. And yeah, they really, the whole thing about Tiger, she does quote Josh about time travel. Do you know about wormholes and alternate timelines and things like that? And Jerry's like, well, yeah, that's the first thing they download into our heads before we go. I love how Tiger kind of looks at her and blinks and is like, oh, shit. All right, well, I'm going to kill the baby is what she does. And of course, Josh blocks that. And who walks in but a very drunk Uncle Barry? And he goes, everyone's having fun but Uncle Barry. Yeah, time travel 101, exactly. So Wolf comes out of the bathroom and comes in and he goes and tells everyone at the party, hey, I just got a blowjob. Has anyone else, had one of these things? And everyone just kind of stops for a second. And Wanda's like, what's going on? And he goes, oh, I was just telling what you did to my penis. And Wanda walks in very nonchalantly and starts swishing some water in her mouth and says, yeah, you're going to want to wash those hand towels. Very not subtle at all. Yeah. Josh, in the meantime, is trying to convince Tiger to let him try to get Jerry to talk. And Tiger's like, all right, fine, I'm going to leave. Take the baby downstairs, take Uncle Barry downstairs, get them out of the way. And who tries to interrupt him again but his mom. His mom comes back again. And at this point, Josh gets pissed and just starts yelling at her and telling her to leave, to fuck off, actually, is what he tells her. He tells her to fuck off. And goes back in the room, and Jerry's like, you know what? That's really mean what you just did to your mom. You're changing. He goes, let me guess. You have detailed files about me, and since you're from the future, you have detailed files about me as well. And she goes, well, yeah, you move out of the house a couple of months from now. You meet a nice woman who's a couple of years older than you. She's shy but funny in a way. And it's, and he's like, yeah, that's a little too specific, at this point. First she's being too general, then she's being too specific. And so he finally breaks down. He goes, okay, tell me what you want me to do, is what he says to Jerry. And we think he's turned at this point. So Jerry basically tells him that she doesn't have a time machine, that it's a one-way trip, that she's been there for 3 years. So she's been Camille and Cronish's secretary for 3 years and just biding her time to basically make sure that nothing goes wrong. And then she says, well, the only place they can get camronium is in the year 2023, because it's not going to happen for another 6 years, which is not until 2023. And then she says, yeah, James Cameron was the one who found it. And he goes, James Cameron? She goes, yeah, there's a song even about it. James Cameron in the year 2023 went under the sea, and he's the father of modern science. Sir James Cameron, yes. And so he is the father of modern science, as she puts it. Meantime, Wolf is downstairs telling war stories from, his point of view, and everyone's just following along with it. They're just going along with it because he's talking about genetically modified human beings that are more machine than human at this point. And yes, there's also foreshadowing with the DNA company because the next door neighbors, the Walkers, have said they just did this DNA ancestry test, and they actually tell Tiger about, they say, hey, we heard about your background and how rough your life was. What you should do is take this DNA test as well, see where your family is from. You can go back a couple hundred years. This tracking system. And she's thinking about this at this point in time. And at this point, Uncle Barry has been drinking quite a bit, and he finally remembers as Wolf is talking about his time, his war stories, where he's seen Tiger and Wolf before. And it's from 1969. He remembers, and he says, they were the ones that busted in along with Josh. And he pulls the gun off the wall, and he's pointing it at everybody. And he says, yeah, he goes, I want to kill them. He goes, it's the Futterman house, and we have guns in the Futterman house. And then he starts talking about how his brother never really liked him, wasn't his friend. And Mr. Futterman actually talks Barry down and says, hey, man, I love you and everything, and gets him to put the gun down. And in the meantime, Tiger and Wolf are just sitting there very calmly as everyone's hiding behind chairs and everything. And Tiger even says, do you want us to take him out? We can do it. We have the tactical advantage to take him down. And Mrs. Futterman's like, no, they can work it out. They're talking him down. And by the end of it, when the Futtermans are hugging, the Futterman brothers are hugging, that's when Tiger, you see her having that whimsy about missing family. And maybe, she's probably going to do this DNA testing that we've heard about. So we go back to Jerry and Josh, and Jerry says that, hey, I really liked you. She goes, I wasn't expecting to. She goes, I've always been attracted to genetically perfect guys. She goes, but you were imperfect in all the right ways. And she goes, even before I kissed you, she goes, I got butterflies in my stomach, which I thought they genetically engineered out. And she goes, I wasn't expecting that. And she says, yeah, I really liked you. And Josh says, he goes, really? You did? You really liked me? And he goes, well, guess what? I've been playing the wounded bird all this time. So you would tell me everything. He goes, now I know where to get more camronium. And he says, I know the location to get more camronium, and that he's going to fight for Tiger and Wolf's future. And just as he's gloating in her face, her head explodes. And pops about a minute early. We see the timer going down, counting down on the screen. And it pops, and I mean, just covers his face full of blood and the entire room full of blood as well. Tiger walks in, sees her head gone, and she goes, well, at least she won't be playing any more head games with us, huh? Oh, too soon? And then Lamar goes off and says, Josh Futterman, your time is up. And that's where we leave off the episode. It's actually Tiger had said that sometimes it's a minute or two off. That's why it's a gamma protocol, because we don't know what the exact time. And that's where we left off on this episode. Is they now know where to find the camronium. Jerry's dead in Josh's room without a head. They want to do the family photo. Yes, too. That's the other thing, is that Mr. Futterman has called up to Josh, said, hey, come on down for a family photo, just as his face is covered with blood. And it's a mess at this point. But they know where to find the camronium. So, and James Cameron is the key. And this is going to lead to my favorite episode, which is going to be episode 7, Pandora's Mailbox. And Joe, are you watching this? Okay, I am. You're up to speed, is what you're saying there? Nice. How you liking it so far, Joe? What do you think? Oh, you finished it last week. Cool. It's probably one of the best sci-fi comedy shows on TV right now. Uh, Probably one of the best sci-fi shows. Yeah, like I said, sci-fi comedy shows. It's really good. I wasn't expecting it to be this good. I had put it off as well, and I kind of poo-pooed it when I first heard about it. And then I watched it, and I was like, "Ah, shit, this is really damn good." And so I had to eat my own words on that one. Yes, I am wrong. Yeah. It's very well written, Viking Bitch. Yeah, the way they weave in sci-fi movies, TV shows, references, even the situations as well. And I mean, they take scenes from movies as well and put them in there, and it's awesome that they do this and references to them as well. And they even do little tongue-in-cheek references to them, little thumb in their noses, that kind of thing as well. And like I said, the next week's episode, the James Cameron episode, is my favorite. It's really, really good. Yeah. Yeah, the trailers can make you go either way. Definitely movie Finobi. And yeah, he's a Hunger Games actor. He's not the best Hunger Games actor that's in the Hunger Games either. Yeah, and that's kind of, I think, what plays off of it is that he's so bumbling and idiotic, but also he's the one who's got the answers for a lot of the things, because the people that are supposed to be helping him or leading this whole thing are even more idiotic because they really don't have any knowledge of anything that's going on. Yeah, the trailers are laying it down, Viking Bitch. The first trailer I saw, I didn't think it was going to be good either, and I remember seeing it at Comic-Con in 2016 before it came out. That's right. And thinking that, yeah, this doesn't look good. And then I saw, Seth Rogen was involved in it, and I'm like, oh God. And this is before, of course, Preacher and everything else that he was doing, and he's been doing a lot. No, I didn't see the panel. I shied away from it just because the trailer that I'd seen didn't inspire any kind of hope. And I think I went and saw, it might have been Ash versus Evil Dead that year, if I'm not mistaken. So usually I'm camping out in one of the rooms, and I've got a couple different panels that I'm going to see in that room. So it takes a while. I mean, you really have to plan out your day when you're going there. Have you guys ever been to Comic-Con, Movie Finobi? I don't know if you guys have been out there or not. It's interesting. I'll say that. There's a lot of shit to go out there. Now you can seek out Tiger Snatch. Yeah, it's a lot of people. Like I said, the street in front of you ever been to a con at all, Viking Bitch? This is the biggest con, of course. This is literally the biggest con out of all of them. And the smaller cons, there's no comparison really to Comic-Con. It's really hard to describe even for people that have gone to smaller conventions. Comic-Con is just another animal entirely. It's I end up now where I'm at, I take the trolley in because you can't park anywhere near that place within like 5 miles of that place unless you want to spend $50, and then you also have to reserve your parking in that garage, whatever garage it is, like months ahead of time. So it's really not feasible. Yeah, Joe. He says, I personally dig the 1980s, and I enjoyed how Futureman take on the 1980s. Yeah, there's a lot of 80s references in this. It's very, and then also the 90s as well. They play with the 90s, which I liked, because there's a lot of stuff that happened in the 90s that all I'm going to say is hashtag butt chugging. There we go. Corey Hart. Yeah. So there's a street right in front of the convention center where Comic-Con is, that there's always traffic through there. And I mean, so much traffic that they actually put a pedestrian bridge over the top of it to protect people from getting hit by cars. Because what was it? The first year of Twilight, There's a woman that got hit by one of the cars there, like a couple days before the convention even started, because she was camping out in front, and I don't know if she was running across the street or what happened, but she got killed crossing the street. So yes, they built this pedestrian bridge over the top of it. Now they actually stop that entire street in front of it and just make it all pedestrian. It's ridiculously bad. Traffic down there is just a nightmare now. You don't want to go anywhere near there during con. Movie Finowi says, I'd still liked the dentist visit someday, maybe San Fran. I was in California many moons ago, only saw... See, we don't call it San Fran. We call it San Francisco. You call it SF. The city is also what you'll call it, but no one calls it San Fran or Frisco unless you're from out of town. And yeah, it's just... yeah, no, it's okay. It happens. I mean, I'm not one of the people that gets pissed off about it. I just correct people, who use that, because it's not really, we don't really use that. Yeah, we actually say SF, tell you the truth. And the spelling of that is ESSEFF. Yeah, the city is when I saw the tick and they said the city, yeah, that was one of the things that made me laugh. It is a very big tick reference, but I mean, people call New York the city as well. Big cities like that, that's what you call them. You call it the city, because it's usually everything else around the outside of it is suburbs, and people who live in the suburbs always say, I'm going to the city. So yeah, another great episode. And again, it's, if you haven't watched the show, go and watch it. Definitely. It's a lot of fun. Movie Finowi says, when I used SD3 for my initials for usernames, a lot of people said San Diego. And I said, no, yeah, it's, that's the other thing too, is San Diego has a weird, I always got confused. The San Diego Padres logo is the same as the San Francisco Giants logo. It's the same script. It's just an SD instead of an SF. And it's always been weird to me that I've seen that. But hey, what do I know? So if you liked what you saw, please feel free to hit the subscribe button down here and the like button, and also ring the bell so you get some notifications about when I'm doing my next one here. The next one is going to be tomorrow. Most likely doing Counterpart episode 4 in the morning, because yes, and I am going to do episode 7 of this in the afternoon, probably the more of the evening time, like around this time, around 6 p.m. I think that should work, 6 p.m. Pacific time. So come on by, take a look, let me know what you think. You can leave comments in this as well. And other than that, I am, again, still working on the website, suspendedfanimation.com. I am on Facebook. I'm on Twitter. I'm on Instagram. I am pretty much everywhere you can be social media wise. And thank you, Mufinobi. So yeah, Saturday mornings are a lot of fun. That's just the, free form. And yes, because you are 3 hours ahead. Yeah, I know. It falls right into your wheelhouse around, what, 12 p.m., somewhere around there. So yeah, I'm liking the time as well. The time is a lot better for me than what I was doing before. So it works a lot better for me as well. So with that said, I will see you guys tomorrow morning. Like I said, I'll post it up. I will put it on Facebook. I'll put it on Twitter before a couple hours before I actually go ahead and start broadcasting. So don't let the door hit your ass on the way out. Otherwise, you may end up in a James Cameron movie where you're not the lead. Talk to you guys later. See you tomorrow. Bye.